Another rookie report card for you, Steve. This guy playing for a Chicago Bears team that didn't have a whole lot of high expectations. It's Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Missouri. He was picked 39th overall, second round. I remember we broke it down. It was kind of like, is this a luxury pick? Is this, did they need to pick Luther Burden with the way that they were built? How have you seen him come along? Because it seems like that's exactly what it's been this season with him and Colston Loveland, the rookie tight end. They've kind of just been brought along slowly as the season has progressed.
You got to remember, in this draft process, all we do is report and give you information that has been given to us. Mm-hmm. And Luther Burden did not do the best of job, right? Well, according to my, what people had told me. He didn't run at his pro day at Missouri. A lot of teams did not like that. Mm-hmm. And so they put a little negative. But one of the things I saw from him, explosive. When they got the ball in his hands, it was crazy, right? He was the go-to guy. They really high volume guy, lined up all over the field. But when he didn't get the ball at times, he started to lose focus. And so he would have an easy drop that couple of plays before, the game before, man, easy. Mm-hmm. Catch it, choo-choo, and get up the field. So that's the only thing. But surprising, a guy that lined up all over the field, he hasn't really lined up in the slot a ton. Mm-hmm. He's primarily lined up outside. And that is surprising because you would assume with Rome and DJ that he would really do a lot of damage in a slot, but they haven't. They line him up in the backfield where a lot of damage he's done. Almost 32% of his targets and 34% of his targets have been intermediate, 10 to 19 yards, and then short. Mm-hmm. Right? He hasn't had a ton of deep passes, only 4 targets, 3 receptions for 131 yards, but 15 targets, 10 catches in intermediate, 16 targets, and 11 catches in the short. But, man, he's come on strong. They just been gradually working him in. And by doing that, he's showing up more and more. You're starting to see him, instead of sparingly making plays, he's starting to make plays. And they got this flea flicker going on right here, and boom, just deep pass going over, and just really shows you he's picked up exactly where he's left off in college. Great ball, great patience, and he doesn't run out of bounds. Mm-hmm. He has great field awareness and takes it to the house.
It's got to stink to be Caleb.
Catching it in traffic. Man, catching a ball in traffic behind you, jumping up with precision and authority. Look, well, he didn't jump up completely. He kind of hopped.
Little bunny.
Yeah. But a good job, and I love it against the Cowboys showing this, because those are that's one of his highest grading performances, almost 93 out of 100 performing. And then against the Washington Commanders, against Week 6, he had 81. Against the New York Giants, he was almost at 80% Week 10. And then against Green Bay, who's a really good defense, and against Pittsburgh, Week 12, almost 72% out of 100. And then Week 14, 76.3% out of 100. So that's really good, man. Good jitterbug, really problematic, really going to do things with Ben Johnson that's going to really effectively allow him to continue to build. And playing football is what this man does. They simplified it for him, meaning he's still a rookie, coming from Ben Johnson's offense to Missouri's offense. I'm pretty sure they're not the same, so there's a learning curve, and he hasn't been forced to go in there. So for me, the route running grade, I give him a B. Okay. Except his role acceptance, I give him an A. Now I heard some stuff he was a little bit, but didn't allow him to affect how he showed up.
Important.
Star factor, I'm going to put it at neutral because what did the Chicago Bears do with a DJ Moore this year? And do they see Luther kind of stepping into that role? Because I believe that Rome has become the number one wide receiver for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears under Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. You also have a young athletic pass-catching tight end, much more of a receiver than a tight end that you drafted.
You got two tight ends that you got to figure out what to do with.
Exactly.
Right?
There's a lot of mouths to feed there. Within that offense. What I was told, Stephen, I'm kind of curious what your take on it is. An opposing defensive coach that went against them told me what I've liked lately is he's making more and more plays consistently within the framework of the offense. And I think that's a sign of you starting to grasp it better, right?
Yep.
Understanding it better, the coaching staff understanding your role within the offense better. What does that specifically mean in your mind, though, that part consistently gets better as the year goes on? You're not just making some plays out of nothing. You're part of the framework of the offense.
You understand your why. You understand why the coach is putting you in this position to run these routes. You're willing to block and not be predictable as, hey, when Luther Burden's in, it's only a pass. Being able to show that I can do the run game and the pass game, and that adds an element of surprise, and it gives you a tool in your toolbox that you necessarily don't get always from a rookie.
Yeah. Are you when he was coming out? Obviously, we had that breakdown that a lot of people watched, but I thought he blocks really well. It seems like there's a lot
when
of
he wants to. I mean,
is there a lot of buy-in, or is that still something we're looking to see more and more of within all of this?
I mean, he's getting more and more opportunities, right? And some of the blocking are generally, if he may be doing a reverse or he's in the slot, but he's lining up a lot outside. It was very low compared to the anticipation of where he was going to line up. With that, I think the transition, I give him a B because he hasn't allowed what we all think of ourselves as a deterrent to affect your work ethic. I've heard he's learning how to be a pro. And that's always great when you hear a young guy learns how to be a pro versus sometimes you'll hear he doesn't know how to be a pro.
Does the room that you're entering play a factor in that? I look at DJ Moore being part of that room.
Yes, the room does factor because what do they say? One bad apple can spoil the bunch. So when you have a ton of great apples in there, man, you just grow. So he's unripe. He's not there yet, but he's getting to nurture. He's getting to understand. He has great examples to teach him how to run the route. And you seeing an older player adapt to a new coaching staff,
great point.
It automatically walks this young man, it puts him in line, and everybody's following because everybody's saying, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it. That's always great.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that with the new staff coming in the way that DJ and others have adjusted. We know that Caleb Williams has not have a very high completion percentage this year. I believe it's below 60%, somewhere in that spot. They're still winning games. What I'm curious about with that is when you're a player that is very good after the catch, like Luther Burden is, how important, and you know this because you were very good after the catch, where the ball is put.
Listen, with Rose Sparks, you ain't never got to get ready because they allow you to stay ready. As you become older, hey, I'm older too. And I'm also single now. So being older and being single, there's a little bit of getting back on the scene and afraid that you won't be able to perform to your excellence. So I got an opportunity to make sure that I stay ready. Got to roll with me anytime the way it comes in. Roll does an excellent job of connecting you with a medical provider, and it comes straight to your door. No having to wait in line or to drive anywhere. You just sit at home, prepare, get ready, and then you can stay ready because Roe will be delivering straight to your door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/89 to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/89 for $15 off the first order. Sparks is a compounded drug product. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. For safety information, go to ro.co/safety info.
Important, and you know this because you were very good after the catch, where the ball is put. Is that impacting Luther at all? That maybe there's a part of his game we haven't seen the full potential of yet until Caleb can get throwing darts and some of those things to let him utilize Luther, that aspect of after the catch, to its full potential.
Of course, his potential for me, his potential was B. I give him a B on potential because everybody's trying to figure it out. This is Caleb Williams, his first year throwing the ball on schedule. They've had, in the beginning of the season, they had a lot of plays where he was ad-libbing, and then now they're throwing the ball on time, and Caleb is learning, and the receivers are learning because they had to learn how to play Caleb ball when he goes off schedule. But now, off schedule is great. Now let's get on schedule, and so now you have multiple ways, right? That a defense can die slowly, so that's where it does nothing but help everybody else around you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I was told just the other week, Caleb is loving playing under center, Steve. Like, it's something he never really did before in his past, and Ben's forcing him to do it, and he's actually really, really embracing it. And that throws the timing on every aspect of the offense.
Here's what I heard that from Caleb is Ben Johnson isn't forcing him. Caleb has told him, I want to learn. I want to be challenged. I want to be pushed. So Ben Johnson is not coming there, hey, I'm forcing you to go under center. It's, hey, we're going to go under center like we talked about. And he's like, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. I was just stressing the fact he's never done it.
Yeah.
And so he's really liked it. Yeah.
I totally agree. I'm just pointing out that you have a young guy who's saying, hey, give me more. Challenge me.
Good point.
Make me uncomfortable. That's excellent. That's what you want out of your leader.
Yeah, I love it. There's a lot to like about this offense, and there's open receivers. I'll say that. I think Luther's part of that.
So overall grade for Luther Burden, I go with a B+.
Ooh, okay, I like it. B+ for the second round pick. Let's just say, see, we were a lot of questions coming into this rookie year of just what his role would be, what the offense was going to be. There was a lot of unknowns going into this Bears offense. And I think he's done a good job of adapting to it. Aggressive receiver, too, which is something I was always told, which is something I always liked, too. So I think a good year for Luther Burden.